In section 6.3.1, create and maintain high-skilled jobs in Ontario, it says the recipient shall maintain an average of 4,475 FTEs in Canada for the work phase. The recipient shall maintain an annual average of 4,475 FTEs in Canada for the benefits phase. Are you aware of how many employees Stellantis employed when you signed this contract and you got this jobs guarantee?
Well, first of all, Mr. Chair, it's great that we have the same version. I'm working from the redacted version. And actually, I'm a lawyer, so it's going to be quite interesting to look at these things together. And you may want to seek legal counsel when you're referring to certain clause, because you'll have to understand the interaction between the clause that you mentioned, 631, and in fact 634D, which is obviously, you have to read these two clauses together. So we were aware of the number of employees that were there, but you have to read both agreements because...
I'm aware of that clause, but just a second, Minister. I'm aware of clause 631D, but there's an amendment that...
Just pausing the, Mr. Seebeck, don't worry, pausing the clock. I know everyone's protective of their time. Colleagues, maybe I'll try to set the tone early. We've got the Minister here. We've got colleagues that have questions. Let's let each other get through questions and answers. I will play nice with the time, and hopefully we can have a good quality conversation, which will allow us to head into the holiday season on good terms with one another. Mr. Seebeck, I've stopped the clock. There are 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. The floor is yours. Minister, if we can let him finish, and then Mr. Seebeck, allow him an opportunity to respond. The floor is yours. Starting the clock again.
Yeah, Minister, I'm aware of clause 6.31D, which talks about they will maintain production at the Brampton facility. But are you aware there was an amendment to the SIF agreement that says that clearly contemplates the closing of that facility? It's in amendment number 2, which my colleague has a copy of. So I don't need to be told that the Brampton facility couldn't close. My question to you was, how many full-time employees did Stellantis have when you signed this contract? Because you're only guaranteeing 4,475 FTEs.
Sir, do you know for how long is the duration of the contract?
Minister, I don't know if you know how...
I'm just trying to help you.
I don't know if you know how this works.
Because if you want to understand the clause, I'm a lawyer, so I can help you interpret the contract.
I was a lawyer as well. When I'm the minister, you can ask me questions. That's fine. No, I'm asking you, did you know how many full-time employees Stellantis had? You can either say, yes, I did, and tell me, or you can say, no, I don't.
The number
you don't ask me
known.
A question. That's not how it works,
The number was
sir.
known, but I'm trying to help you. You should be grateful. I'm here to help you. So I'm trying to help you understand the contract. I appreciate you didn't sign it, you didn't negotiate it, you didn't even participate in the negotiation. I did.
I kept
so
it
it's
hidden for
easier
2 years.
because I can help you and help Canadians understand.
Well, why don't you just help me right now and help Canadians by saying how many actual full-time employees Stellantis had when you signed the contract?
Well, what you need to look, the number you have there is an average over a period of 12 years. So what you have there is a floor. And I would say to you, you should refer to, if you seek legal advice, you would see that when you have these contracts with respect to the floor of employment for the auto industry, they usually go for a decade. So what you have is that you have an average over a period of time. This is a floor. That's what I'm trying to help you understand. This is like a floor. And when you read that clause, bear with me just for 1 second. I appreciate you have a question. You need to read the other SIF agreement, because they go together. There's a connection between the two SIF agreement, which is the Next Star and the Stellantis.
I really don't need you condescendingly telling me to read things. What it says is the recipient shall maintain an average of 4,475 FTEs in Canada during the work phase. We're in the work phase because work is being done. And Stellantis had 8,000 employees when you signed this contract, 8,000. So that means they could fire 3,500 employees and still be in compliance with this agreement. And that there, sir, is the problem. Under this SIF agreement, the combined contributions were $3 billion. And they were still allowed, during the work phase, to fire up to 3,500 employees. And now they've fired 3,000 employees in Brampton. They did exactly what they were allowed to do. How can you say that this was a contract that was going to protect the workers? And my subsequent to that is, did you tell Unifor that this was part of the contract? Because I bet you didn't. They would not have been happy that you were allowed. They were allowed to fire 3,500.
You're making a lot of assumption for someone who was not at the table. I don't recall having seen you negotiating the contract with us. Maybe I'm getting old, but I could not remember seeing you at the table when we negotiated. But when you see that clause, like I said, you have to read it in connection with 634D. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, and this is a floor. That was the commitment by Stellantis, and you need to read it in conjunction with the other CIF agreement, which if you want to go back, the Next Star Agreement, because the Next Star Agreement has also a floor. No, but let me answer.
And under Amendment Agreement number 1, it says, if the recipient closes the Brampton Assembly Plant prior to December 31st, 2035, and the closure cannot be shown to be about the result of a whole bunch of things, so your Section D doesn't matter because in an amendment you clearly contemplated that the plant could close. So don't lecture me, sir, on reading the contract. I've read it.
So, Mr. Seebeck,
I think you're making a lot of assumptions for someone who has not seen the entirety, sir. You have the benefit of having someone who did it.
The only reason I haven't seen the entirety is because you've hidden it.
Sure, I'm
Gentlemen,
trying to
we're out
respond.
of-
If you want to
Minister?
pretend you were there and you know, just go on. What I'm trying to help you is to help you understand the contract and the interaction between the two clauses and the interaction with the other CIF agreement. Because if you look at the other CIF agreement, you have a protection for 2,500 jobs. If you put the two together, you have a protection for about 7,000 jobs, which is the floor that you have in these
so
agreements.
And that
Minister-
CIF agreement was
Gentlemen,
modified as well
Okay.
with an amendment that talked about
Gentlemen.
the jobs.
Mr. Seebeck and Minister, both of you, please.